In the previous lecture, we studied that if this is a lung and if this is blood circulation, here the endothelial cells which are present inside the lungs, in the periphery of alveoli, they are having some expressions on the outer surface of endothelial cells. Enzymes, these are called ACE, that is ACE molecules, and these are actually called angiotensin converting enzyme molecules. As soon as this AT1 it moves towards these, this AT1 is converted into AT second, that is angiotensin second. Moreover, we must understand that this ACE is actually performing a second function, and that second function is inactivation of bradykinin. Bradykinin is actually a peptide which is present also in the blood. Bradykinin, here I can write it as bradykinin, that is actually a peptide which is present inside the blood, which is actually made by the system that is called a kinin-kallikrein system. Kinin-kallikrein system actually synthesizes this bradykinin. This bradykinin is very important in stimulation of inflammation. It causes inflammation. Number 2, it causes vasodilation. It means it is very helpful in management of hypertension. Third, it is a mild diuretic. It's a mild diuretic. Now, since we are dealing with the management of hypotension, this vasodilation process is having no role here. This ACE actually acts upon the bradykinin and deactivates it. First of all, ACE converts AT1 into AT2, and ACE also deactivates bradykinin, which actually is a strong vasodilator, a mild diuretic, and causes inflammation. This AT1 is having three main functions, three main targets. One target, that is angiotensin receptors. Second, that is adrenal gland. Third, central nervous system. From adrenal gland, actually it attacks adrenal cortex part, and from adrenal cortex it actually attacks a zone, a region that is called zona glomerulosa, where from a hormone is released that is called aldosterone. We will study this hormone later. First of all, let's have a look how AT1 acts upon the receptors, that is angiotensin receptors, for the management of hypertension. So I will rub here this part, I will rub it out. Now listen, if for example, hypothetically, if this is left heart, and for example, if this is right heart, This is left heart and this is right heart, right section. Now what happens? This part you perfectly know, there is, this is aorta, which I will write it here. This is aortic region. This is superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, and I will mention these parts like here. Now, this is pure section and this is impure section, or I can say oxygenated section, and this is deoxygenated section. From these, there is release, there is outgrowth of here, these are venules and these are arterioles. They join at spot here. Capillary bed, I can say. Now, what happens? These smooth muscles on these venules, these are venules and these are arterioles. There are smooth muscles present here. Also here, there are smooth muscles, since these are capillaries, arterioles and venules are capillaries. Smooth muscles are present, and these smooth muscles, they contain the receptors. These are called AT receptors. This AT1 actually attacks these AT receptors which are present in this area and this area. Now, what happens? This AT1, it attacks on this. It also attacks here, here, and causes vasoconstriction. So I will say that angiotensin second acts upon angiotensin receptors present on the smooth cells of these venules and cause vasoconstriction, and as soon as vasoconstriction is there, these get blocked, these get closed, and the blood which is present in the veins, since you know that majority of the blood of the body is present in the vein system, not in the artery system. 70% blood is present in the vein system, not arterial system. That is why vein system is sometimes called a capacitor system. 70% of the blood is present in the veins, not arteries. So majority of the blood will not leak from here region because there is vasoconstriction caused by this AT1. It means more and more blood will rush towards the inferior vena cava and superior vena cava, and they will move towards this, that is right atrium, which upon systolic process drops this blood into the right ventricle. From right ventricle, it will be pushed through the pulmonary artery towards the lungs, and from lungs that will be pushed through the pulmonary veins into the left atrium, and from left atrium it will enter into the left ventricle through this valvular system, that is bicuspid valve. And now you know that majority of the blood has been pushed. Majority of the blood has been pushed. It means it increases this AT1 upon vasoconstriction. It increases venous return. It increases venous return, which finally upon oxygenation, and after that oxygenation it enters finally into the left ventricle, and left ventricle will push this blood, huge amount of blood through this aorta to all parts of the body. Now more and more blood will enter in this system. I will say that preload is increased. Preload, as you know that preload is end diastolic volume. Upon this left ventricle